Southeast Texas Weekly, brought to you by the Modern Vein Surgery Institute at Privity Clinic for Surgical Care.
Hello again. Welcome back to Southeast Texas Weekly. I'm Kevin Steele, here to talk politics and kind of reprise this matter of the barbershop political talk that we have in Southeast Texas. Joining me to talk further about this, Michael Lindsay with Lindsay and Parsons, Nathan Buddy Reynolds, Democratic activist, and Godfrey Leggett, Democratic activist. Great many things going on politically around the nation. We're going to try something new. The Republicans are going to come in here in a few minutes and downplay everything you guys have just said, so you better make good arguments. Okay, while you're here, better hurry. All right, let's get into this matter of the Veterans Administration scandal. I think we can call it a scandal at this point, right? Is that fair?
I think it's fair to say the treatment of our veterans is scandalous and has been scandalous. 6 years ago, the Bush administration, the veterans facilities were in
back
shambles.
to Bush.
Well, when you
It's
go
always
into
Bush, Godfrey.
go
the
into
effects
two
of his
undeclared wars.
administration are still with us, okay? He may be gone, but the effects are still here.
I'll let you finish your point.
Well, I mean, you declare two undeclared wars. We send hundreds of thousands of veterans off knowing that their medical care costs for their lifetime is going to be $1 trillion, and you don't pay for it. What do you think's going to happen?
You don't budget it properly. You mean that's what you're saying?
Yes.
Secretary Shinseki offered his resignation. The president said he regrettably accepted the resignation of the man in charge of making sure. He spoke very fondly about former General Shinseki, said that he, with his 2 tours in Vietnam, his great many years in the service of his country, he was an American hero, talked at great length about the service of General Shinseki, and a lot of folks during the course of that said, you know what, who's looking out for these veterans who had wait times, sometimes in the 18-month, category? Nathan Buddy Reynolds, was it too little too late for this to happen? It almost sounded as if the president regrettably had to accept the resignation of the guy who's evidently the buck would stop at his office, and yet it sounds like as if the president wouldn't have made the decision on his own.
I don't think the president wanted him to resign. I think the president gave him every opportunity to step up. He hasn't done what I think should have been done. He should have been down there in Phoenix cleaning out offices.
Shinseki, you mean?
Immediately, yes. And he didn't do that, and he's lost credibility with the administration, with Congress, and he's going to have to step down, and somebody's going to come in and service the now 9 million veterans that are being serviced by the VA in 1,700 facilities.
1,700 facilities. Made it almost look, from the president's vantage point, as if, in my view, he wouldn't have made the decision had Shinseki not stepped up and said, by the way, let me offer my resignation here. And why does this president not get rid of cabinet heads that get involved in major issues?
This is an extremely smart president, and replacing Shinseki or not is not going to make any difference to veterans' care and treatment. The Congress, the Senate, why don't they appropriate some legislation that allows our veterans to go to any hospital in the country instead of waiting 18 months for care and treatment, if we really cared about our veterans?
Obama administration press secretary Jay Carney saying just 24 hours earlier, the president wants to give it time. Let's give it time to see what we have
He was under political
in this
pressure.
Phoenix issue.
But like Michael says, this is not going to make any difference. Shinseki did not cause the problem. He did not nurture the problem. He could have, as Buddy said, maybe acted
Where
more
are
board.
the regulators in this administration, though? Where are the cabinet heads who say, really, it's my job to hold feet to the fire? The Defense Department, the VA, other areas.
This problem with the Veterans
holds the feet to
Administration
the
is
fire?
not a national problem. There's certain areas,
What's
like
not
in
a
Beaumont.
national problem?
In Beaumont, if you talk to vets, they pretty much like what's the service being provided to them by our veterans.
I don't know if I would even agree with that.
Yes, well, you should go.
I've talked to some veterans who say, this drive time to Houston.
Well, we have a
is
clinic right here in Beaumont, right behind Chili's.
Yeah, but a lot of the treatment comes out of Houston. They do. A lot of guys
it
have
has
to
for
go to
many
Houston.
years.
And there are already low-level allegations that not only was it the Temple facility, but the Dallas facility and the Houston facility that also had extraordinary wait times, and possibly wait times that were covered up.
Like Michael says, the Iraq and Afghanistan wars are producing a whole lot of victims, okay? And they're going to need help and treatment for many, many years. And it's going to cost a lot of money. And Congress needs to appropriate that money.
Kevin, I was over at our local VA facility within the last month and spoke with people, and the level of care they're receiving here is good. The care they're receiving is good. But you have to put it in perspective as to the type of care and treatment that's offered here and what some of our veterans require in terms of their care and treatment that's just not offered locally.
Just yeah, and that's not really, you know, the fault of any one person. I think it's more the delays issue, and really the systematic abuse of the system, whereby these executives have their bonuses linked to covering up that these wait times were so lengthy.
It creates a mechanism that makes you want to cheat, and that's bad.
Yes, and why didn't Shinseki jump in on that earlier?
I don't know that he identified it as a problem. I don't know whether his predecessor or his predecessor identified it as a problem.
And why didn't the President of the United States hold Shinseki's feet to the fire?
Shinseki had retired, and I think my observation is that when you retire from the military, you kind of get a job as Secretary of the VA. And he was just riding it out, just like the people before him did. Well, now that it's been fleshed out, it's out in the public, somebody has to do something about it. I don't think he either wanted to or was capable of doing that.
Folks would argue a cabinet level position is not the place to ride it out, not nearly.
I agree.
This problem is very large and very many-faceted problem.
Yeah.
And it's going to require a lot of effort by a lot of people and a lot more money.
It didn't
Who
happen in the
says-
last 4 years,
That's
6 years either.
We're back with these gentlemen in just moments. Who is the weakest president in Dick Cheney's lifetime? We'll find out. Who could it